until the season. So really good spring, really improved in the run game, and Bo specifically, I mean, he did a really good job of making sure that he was receptive of he's always in my ear.
Sean, can you speak to the value of this game for young players? James was just talking about how important it is for kids to get a chance to get out there in front of 60,000, and especially for quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's just different. It just is. When you play in front of people, it's are you going to have that edge, or are you going to fade away from the spotlight? I think that both of them are bred for it. They're ready for it. I'm excited to keep coaching them, keep helping them grow, and do my part in their development.
James said this was your best spring. Would you agree with that? And what are you doing better?
Yeah, I feel so confident. And it was my best spring. And I'm not going to harp on myself that long, but I feel great. You know, my mind's clear. I'm having a blast. This is a great team. Really, really great group of people. You know, I think that we're talented. I think that they're always listening to the leaders. You know, there's no fight back. There's no egos in the room. In the room of our room, or egos on the whole team. And it's fun to lead this team. It really is.
Sean, last year you said you were the most confident quarterback in college football. What's the difference between this confidence and the one from last year?
Yeah, it's it's the second year in the system confidence. I feel like, you know, I've seen every look in this offense specifically. I know the terminology like it was the back of my hand. I know, you know, what plays we want to be in to certain looks, and when we get a look that I don't like, I know the checks to get us out of those looks. We did that today. A lot of communication. You're going to see me, you know, at the line, talking to the linemen a lot more, making sure that we're in the right play 95, 100% of the time. Because that's tough, you know, when you don't have, you know, a vet QB. You're going to have to make sure that we're in the right play from the sideline. But what I can do now is make sure that we're always in the right play on the field and make those checks. And Coach Franklin, Coach Yursich have both given me a lot of freedom, a lot of responsibility, and I'm up for the challenge every single time.
So it wasn't.
You thought Tinsley was going to be electric this year? We saw a little bit of that. I mean, what did you see from him so far?
Exactly that. I think he's electric. I think he's a great football player. You know, we were actually talking about it a little bit. You know, he's not gonna run like 4.3, and you know, he might not have the. I think he's a pretty good sized wide receiver, but at the same time, he plays football well. Like, he's just a good football player. He's like Jahan Dotson. He catches the ball strong. He makes good plays. He makes the big plays when they matter. He makes that cut. He makes open field. People miss in open field. And he just is—he's a great guy too. He's my roommate. Really got a really good chemistry with him so far, and excited for the summer. You know, he's chomping at the bit. I mean, we got a couple weeks off, so I'm gonna enjoy it. Get back with family and friends a little bit. But then once we come back, I know he's chomping at the bit. We were talking already about offseason plans. So that's what I love about this team in general too. Not just Mitch, the whole team. Everybody's ready to go. We just finished a long month and a half spring ball, and we are now already talking about the offseason. I mean, you don't see that.
Sean, offensive line, Coach said that's one couple questions going forward. What did you see from the first unit offensive line this spring?
Just like gritty group. They want to get better. They're very receptive to what I'm saying. When we, you know, we're not always going to be in the perfect play, like I said, but you know, getting us into the right IDs and making sure that we're right up front. That's going to set us up for a lot of success. And just that communication between Juice and I. You know, Juice has been grinding. We've been watching a lot of tape together, making sure, hey, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing that. It's been really great, and I really believe that, you know, we made a lot of strides, more strides than I've made in a long time, just because of that second year in the offense. And I think we saw it week in, week out. So I'm excited.
So it wasn't a traditional.
What else are you going to do just to continue this momentum in your team against Purdue?
Just can't be complacent. Can't get complacent. Make sure that we're every single day we're coming out with an intention, making sure that, you know, we're not just going out there feeling everything out, with just going through the motions. We have a plan and a reason that we're going out and doing everything that we do.
Sean, you mentioned off-season plans and talking about them maybe earlier than what you would. What do those look like when you start penciling things in with some of your guys?
Yeah, I mean, we're going into discretionary period. We'll have 3 weeks of player-led stuff. It's mandatory for us. You know, it's not mandatory from the coaches. It's not mandatory from the strength staff. No one's telling us to do anything. It's mandatory for us because we know the talent we have and we know what we can do this year. So guys are ready, chomping at the bit, like I said, and to get back.
How do you get that message out to the guys? You say it in the locker room right now, or
I just told them. Yeah, that's what I tell them. I'm not gonna, locker room is sacred, so I'm not gonna get into too much of it. But at the same time, that's what I told them. I said that when we come back, we have a plan, we have a purpose, and we're here to beat Purdue that week 1. So we need to start working at it.
How much better prepared do you think this spring got you ready for the upcoming year than maybe some of the past springs?
Oh, really? I mean, like I keep preaching that second year in the offense, and it's really true because I don't need to go over new terminology. I don't need to, the ID, how we call it, everything about it. The play concepts are the same. We can add new wrinkles, adjust things that weren't, because we'll carry plays in the season, and then after the season, look back at it and say, we should have read it like this, or we should have done this. So making those adjustments in the same offense, and I've seen all the different looks to these different plays. So I think that we've made as big a stride as we ever have here.
So I know this format was kind of necessary today. Did it give you guys the opportunity that you wanted to kind of show what you've learned this spring?
It was just a practice to me. I mean, we're out there practicing. We're trying to get better. I don't really take in the spring game as anything different than the practice, to be honest with you. But it was nice to have everybody out there. It was nice to see all the fans, the young kids especially. And it's a great family day. So.
Is there a visual adjustment at all with Mitch wearing 5 and Jahan wearing 5? And just you've had such a great chemistry with Jahan that there's things that that he can do that maybe Mitch can't do, or the other way around, right? I mean, does that take an adjustment period to go that's not Jahan?
No, I know it's not Jahan. I'd hope that I know that it's not Jahan. But no, Mitch and Jahan have very similar characteristics. Both crafty in their routes, both can catch the ball, both can catch in traffic, and both are special. I mean, they make those special plays. So, honestly, to answer your question, no, I don't think that Mitch is Jahan, but I see a lot of similarities. So
what would you say about the progress that Caden Saunders has made in his first spring at Penn State?
I think that Caden, and honestly all those young wide receivers, have done a really good job. Just the same as Drew and Bo, they've both done a really good job of listening to CV and I and Coach Yursich, same way that the young wideouts are doing. They're in the film room, listening to us, making sure that they're getting the signals down. That's a big thing when you come in, is the signals, just because it's different. We just have. I think we tallied after last year, we had 500 or maybe 600 signals. So we literally have a dictionary of words. So it's getting in the playbook, making sure that you know what those things mean. And I think that they've done a really good job, especially Caden, as you brought up. So.
What are you and Franklin describing this as your best off-season yet? What has been the biggest point of emphasis from a development standpoint? And do you think that will be the same point of emphasis going forward with the off-season, or is that going to shift as things move?
We'll break everything down, look at it, but consistency was the number one thing, just because last year I felt fantastic going through the first half of the season up till Iowa, completely transparent. And then the minute that I got injured, I just didn't feel the same. I wasn't consistent. I wasn't coming out and being the same guy that I was, because I was playing at a high level early, and we were playing at a high level early as an offense. And then once I got that injury, it took a step back. It took a little bit for me, just because it was such a brutal injury. But no, it's just making sure that I'm consistent. It's making sure that I'm coming in every single day with a plan, the same way that I have for the past 100 years I've been here. So.
How long do you figure that it took you to really feel comfortable?
What did you say?
I said, how long did it take you to feel like you were physically 100% last year?
Last year?
After that happened?
Not for a while. It was a tough injury, so it was one of those where it wasn't like a month. It was lagging for a long time. But at the same time, I'm not trying to make excuses. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm just being transparent, and it was something that I took a step back in the back end of the year, and I can't do that. I need to be consistent all the way through. Be the same guy that week one looks, get better every year, every single game. So, and I feel like I'm doing that, day in, day out, and I feel like this team is doing that. So.
Was that mental somewhat? That kind of step back? Was it not just a physical thing, but a mental thing?
It was definitely physical. It was more so physical than mental. I played a lot of football. I've taken a lot of hits. I know what a hit feels like. I'm not scared of a hit, but at the same time, it just definitely is. When things happen in football.
Sean, with this crop of receivers that you have now, are you sort of chomping at the bit to get to work this summer?
Yeah, I mean, I'm chomping at the bit to be with these guys, and I know they are too. We talked in the locker room after. We're not done at all. We have a season to play. We have Purdue to beat, and we're excited. We're excited for the summer. We're excited for getting to week one, but we know that it's going to take each day having a plan. Even if that's for the next 2 weeks, just taking a little bit of time and unwinding, because it's been a long winter, a long spring. We've been working extremely hard, so we honestly deserve it as a team, and I'm happy that we get to spend some time with family and friends. But once we come back, it was reiterated very sternly that we're going to make sure that we right the ship. So.
Sean, can you still learn things about yourself in your 6th or 5th spring practice here, or whatever it is?
Can Tom Brady still learn things in year 22? You're right.
What did you learn?
A lot. Just making sure that I'm not like I've seen all the looks that I can see, but there's always going to be those looks that it's just different. Like something happens, and you just got to make a play, or something breaks down, or a dude falls over, and it's how you react and how do you just what's that thought process. So it's a lot of different things that I've learned. Every single day I learn something new. I honestly learn stuff from the young guys. CV, Bo, Drew, they all teach me new things every day. Every quarterback that's come in throughout this time is that my time here has taught me something. So it's just being a sponge and not being complacent and making sure that I'm doing my part.
Two more for Sean.
What do you think that the other 3 quarterbacks don't? Just based on experience. I mean, what do you know
it's just reps.
that they just don't know?
It's just reps. I mean, they're all talented, but it's just played in a lot of games, and college football is just a little bit different. But it's not that I don't know. I mean, it's more so that they haven't seen in a game yet doing certain things. It's not, they know everything. I've pushed as much information and shown them, when we're watching tape, this is what I was thinking, this is what we're doing, and trying to put them in the game situation. So it's not that they don't know, it's just they haven't. It's different. I mean, it's taking what you get from the classroom, the meeting room, to the field. It's football. So.
Has this spring been fun for you? I'm going to call you the old guy. I don't mean that disrespectful, but being the old guy with the young guys that they're trying to take your spot. It's just a different position for you to be in. Has it been fun for you to kind of be in that role where everybody's looking at you?
It's a blast. I mean, I'm playing football at 23 years old. Not many people get to do that. I'm going to enjoy it every single time I get to. So, thank you guys.
Thank you.